Start. Namo tassa bhagavato arhato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arhato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arhato samma sambuddhassa. So today the sutta which we are going to take is a series of question and answers. It is Majjhima Nikaya 44, Chula Vedala Sutta, the shorter series of questions and answers. So this has a lot of information. If you can't understand a lot, it's okay. Just let that go and stay with what you can kind of absorb. Thus have I heard, on one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, the squirrel's sanctuary. Then the lay follower Vaishakha. So now Vaishakha is used in two ways. I told about Lady Vaishakha, the Migara's Mata. Now this is a male. So now Vaishakha was basically used for male and female. So now you find this phenomena in Punjab, Punjab you say Rose Singh and Rose Kaur. So there can be one name, but they can be for a male and female. So that way the same thing was happening in this time. So it is Vaishakha. Went to Bhikkhuni Dhammadina. Now Bhikkhuni Dhammadina was an Arahant. And she was considered to be the foremost among the nuns in wisdom. Like Sariputta was the foremost among the monks in wisdom, she was considered foremost among the nuns for wisdom. So now Vaishakha and Dhammadina were married at one point of time. At one day, Vaishakha came home and said to Dhammadina that I cannot stay with you as a husband and wife. We can stay as brother and sister. So she asked why, what happened. So he said that I had gone to the Buddha. I was listening to his teaching and I have become an anagami, a non-returner. So we talked about that there is no lust and aversion. So if there is no lust, there is no family life which is possible. But he did not become a monk. Why? Because he was a wealthy merchant, but he was also a treasurer of the king. Because he was a treasurer of the king, he actually knew where the gold was buried. So he knew, and he was employed with the king. So if you are employed with the king, without king's permission, you cannot become a monk. So that's the reason he did not become a monk. But Dhammadina said that I had always the desire to become a nun, but because you were there, I did not become a nun. So I will become a nun. So she kind of said, she went and became a nun, and very quickly she became an arahant. So now he is coming and asking. So maybe he is asking clarification, or maybe he came to check her wisdom. Whatever may be that, but he is come and he is kind of having a dialogue with her. And after paying homage to her, he sat down at one side and asked her. So he was paying proper respect as a monk should be paid a respect. Lady, identity is said. What is called identity by the Blessed One? So that is, how do we form identity? That is the first question. Friends, Vaishakha, these five aggregates, when affected by clinging, are called identity by the Blessed One. That is material form aggregate, that is a body. When affected by clinging. The feeling aggregate, when affected by feeling. That is where after contact there is feeling. The perception aggregate, when affected by clinging. So when there is feeling, there is perception. The formations aggregate when affected by clinging. Formations are all the sankharas, or the body, speech and mind. Now over here, it specifically Bhante says that you have to think of them as thoughts, because when we are doing meditation, what are we more aware of? The thoughts, the thought formations. So that is what Bhante said. That is for us, it should be thoughts when affected by clinging. And the consciousness aggregate when affected by clinging. So after contact, the three things which are there are the main thing, which is feeling, perception and consciousness. Those can be the fundamental things which we can take it as self. Somebody can take the body as self, and we go through that also in the in this question answers. Saying, good lady, the lay follower Vaishakha delighted and rejoiced in the Bhikkhuni Dhammadina's word. Then he asked a further question. Lady, origin of identity. Origin of identity is said. What is called the origin of identity by the Blessed One? Friend Vaishakha, it is craving, which brings renewal of being. So now, how does this renewal of being happen? Now, renewal of anything which happens in our life also is happening through craving, wanting. That is what is happening. Is accomplished by delight and lust. So, whatever you are craving, you can have some delight also, some joy also there. And then there is some kind of clinging to it. Lust is also there. And delights in this and that. So, it can delight in anything. So, people are delighting in many different things which are there. So, there are many hundreds and thousands and millions of things people are getting attracted to. That is craving for sensual pleasures. So, any sense related pleasure which is there, to see, hear, smell, taste, touch, think, sensual pleasures. Craving for being. So, there is a craving for becoming something. So, somebody in their life wants to become different things. People give some exams. Somebody wants to become rich. Somebody wants to become poor also. Like in European country, there is I think there is one Scandinavian country. They kind of pride themselves on being more and more simple. They buy one room kind of houses, and they want to be more and more simple. So when you become all the material wealth that you have, then you want to become poor. So that is also the case. So if you don't have material things, you want to become rich. So anything that is the being which is there. And then you want to, some people have ideas of becoming a Deva or a Brahma or something like that. But all different kinds of being. And craving for non-being. Now this is a fundamental thing which is there with the humans. They don't want to be what they are also. Whatever this is, they don't like. So there is non-being also is there. But that is not possible, because why? Because people kind of they say unalive themselves. No? So why do they unalive themselves? Because they don't like this whatever is there. But that is not possible. What one Ajahn Brahm was talking about, one talk was there. What if somebody does that and finds that only the body has gone and you are still there in pain? And that pain is continuing because there is no body to stop that. So what would that happen? But that is not possible. Non-being is also not possible. If being is there, then there is a craving for non-being also. This is called the origin of identity by the Blessed One. So that this constant thing is there. Want to become something and don't want to be this. That is a constant thing which is happening. Lady, cessation of identity. Cessation of identity is said. What is called the cessation of identity? This can also be considered as the Four Noble Truths. What is the identity? What is the reason for the identity? What is the cessation of the identity? So this is kind of like a Four Noble Truths. So, friend Vaishakha, it is the reminderless fading away, ceasing and giving up, relinquishing, letting go, and rejecting of the same craving. So that is 6R, when we let go. So what we say is giving up, relinquishing, letting go, and rejecting of this same craving. So when something comes up in that has to be let go, okay, relinquished, give up, reject whatever is coming. So that is something which we have to give up. This is called the cessation of identity by the Blessed One. So then only this identity which we create, that identity is ceased. That can only happen till the Arahant. So even an Anagami can have an identity that I am the best in psychic powers, or I am Anagami, can still be there. A little bit of ego can still be there. Lady, the way leading to the cessation of identity. The way leading to the cessation of identity is said. What is called the way leading to the cessation of identity by the Blessed One? Friend Vaishakha, it is just this noble eightfold path, that is right speech, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So now Bhante Vimal Ramsey gave a different translation. He gave a translation which is harmonious. He is not say, he says right and wrong is something, but harmonious you have to say. So you have given a different perspective. So we will go through right, the translation as right, and then we will go through the harmonious thing. So now right view. What is the right view? The view from the Four Noble Truths. That is the right view. View of the three characteristics which is there. View from the dependent origination. That is the right view. If you have the right view, then right intention comes to be. Okay. Now right intention is what you are intending to do. So any action with intention is called karma. So that if your right view is there, then right intention happens. When right intention has, right speech happens. So there are four kinds of speech, which is you should not speak lies. You should not have divisive speech. You should not have a speech which is harsh. You should not have speech which is frivolous or gossip. So what you should have? The speech which is truthful. Speech which is uniting. Speech which is soft and encouraging. And speech which is of use. That somebody can benefit from that. Knowledgeable speech which should be there. So that is how right speech happens. Then there is right action. So what are the right actions as per precepts, which is do not kill. Okay, do not steal. Don't cheat on your partner. That is the thing which is there, the third precept. Do not have intoxicants. Those are the actions which are there. Then there is right livelihood. Now right livelihood is how you are living your life. So there are said to be some livelihoods which are there, which are considered to be unwholesome. That is, you deal in poisons, you deal in weapons, you deal in slaves or humans. That is, you deal in intoxicants and you deal in poisons. Those things which are there, you should not be dealing with that. That is unwholesome. Then there is right effort. Now right effort is what I said. If there is try to avoid unwholesome to come and invade your mind. Okay. If unwholesome is there, you remove that unwholesome. Bring up something wholesome and then continue with the wholesome. Yes?
What about slaughtering, being in industry of slaughtering?
Lottery, yeah?
Slaughtering.
Slaughter is humor. That is also one of the is not to kind of deal with animals or what is it called specifically? Not to deal with animals. So breeding, slaughtering, and all of them come into that. But if you consider exactly slaughtering, then it comes in the precepts of do not kill. But over here it is not to kind of deal with any kind of animals, like rearing the animals for slaughter or trading in animals which are going to be slaughtered. So that also is there. So then, yes?
Nowadays, superpower's main income is only selling of arms and ammunition. It is contrary to non-selling of.
Correct. So that is there. So when you are doing any kind of selling of arms, then that is against the precepts.
Okay, casino business.
Buddha has in one of the suttas mentioned that gambling is wrong, but it is not kind of mentioned in the precepts. But in another sutta there is Sigala Vada Sutta, which is basically given for the lay people and how to live their life. He has said that gambling has many vices and it leads to many bad things. So he has spoken against the gambling. So that may be also considered a wrong kind of livelihood. Then there is, after your right effort, there is mindfulness. Mindfulness is there, then after that there is right concentration. That is the jhanas which are there, or samadhi in Pali. So now Bhante Vimal Ramsey has translated it in this way. He says harmonious perspective. You start with harmonious perspective. What is your perspective? Then you with harmonious imaging. So what is the image you have in your mind? So whatever image you are having in your mind, if you have a happy image, then you will be happy. If you have a sad image, you will always be sad. If you have the harmonious image, then harmonious communication. So this is a communication you do with others and communication which you do with yourself. Then harmonious movement of the mind. So you see what are the actions you are doing. So, and how your mind is also moving. How the mind's attention is moving from here to there, from wholesome to unwholesome and unwholesome to wholesome. That is how harmonious movement. Then harmonious lifestyle. He says, how are you living your life? It is not about just doing your job or earning a living. It is also how you are living your life. You should live your life in harmony. So harmonious lifestyle. Then harmonious practice. That is the 6R practice which you are doing. Okay? Recognize, release, relax, re-smile, return and repeat whenever. That, and then harmonious observation. So how are you observing what is there? How it is. So whatever we are doing in our practice is about observation. Our attention which is there and how we are observing. And then there is harmonious collectedness, where our mind is collected and all our efforts are collected to the one particular goal. So that is how this Eightfold Path is translated. Yes?
So in Burma and some of the Southeast Asian countries, during monasteries, they kind of encourage to openly they keep meat people to have. Are they not indirectly responsible for, even though it is donation, given dana, lay people, are they not indirectly at least responsible?
So the Buddha has said that there are 4 scenarios where the monk can refuse to have food. One is if they see the animal being slaughtered before, or they hear or they suspect it has been slaughtered for them. And then there is a series of animals which are considered royal at the time of the Buddha, like elephant is there, horse is there. And then there are certain animals which are considered harmful to eat if you are there in the forest, like hyena meat is there, snake meat is there. So those if you eat those hyena or snake meat, your sweat will smell like that and animals may attack you. So those are the 4 scenarios the Buddha has said not to have meat. Other than that, he has not restricted the meat eating. Then another thing, indirectly what you are saying, one of the examples I will give you is one of the suttas. I talked about some Buddha was also there. People were coming and arguing with the Buddha. So there is somebody who came and had a debate with the Buddha. After the debate, this guy said that he lost, but he was very kind of grateful, and he was calling all the monks for the dinner. Then he had a big following. He said, "I am calling 500 monks for dinner. Donate to me." So his followers donated to him raw materials. So he took that raw materials, cooked and give to the Sangha. While leaving, he asked the Buddha, "Say, what is the merit I earn for giving this thing? Because this raw material was provided to me by my lay people." So Buddha says that the lay people has donated to you. So they will get only the merits of donating to a lay person, a normal ordinary person. But you have donated to the Buddha and the Sangha. So you will get the merits of donating to the Buddha and the Sangha. Okay? So that is a way saying that by proxy you are not responsible for the other's karma. Because karma is intention. So your what you are eating has no intention of killing in that. Your eating is just eating. But if you have an intention, say there is a live animal which is there, then you can not eat. That is as a monk's rules which I am telling about. Yes?
Yeah, so if the lay person knows that the monk likes meat, so he will intentionally go kill that animal and bring it.
If the monk suspects that it is being done, then he can refuse it. And another thing I will tell you, Buddha said that it is more important what comes out of your mouth than what goes into your mouth. because there are many things, problems which are created by your mouth, what you say. So people go into hell because of what they speak. So Buddha says that you have to be more important than what you are eating. That's the reason there are not many rules about eating, like eat this things which are there, like onions are there or garlic is there. There are no restrictions as such. And many of the things are recently introduced to India, but they are still restricted in religions which are maybe 3,000 years old. But those are kind of modern understandings also. They say that, okay, this because of this understanding we will not eat all these things. But Buddha says that it is important how you kind of see what is there coming in the mind and letting go, rather than what you are eating. So he never kind of gave any kind of instructions that eating this will happen or eating that way. But he said he restricted the timings of the monks because he wanted to make it simpler, so they can do more practice.
So if the monk suspects that the animal was killed for the donation basis, he can refuse it.
Correct. So normally, say in there are also many places where there is if there is a chicken farmer or something like that, they will not accept chicken as a kind of offering. Or there is a fisherman, they will not accept a fish offering. So there are many instances like that also. So those are the eightfold paths. So now eightfold path, I told you, also means that if you have the perspective, right perspective, then right imaging automatically happens, because the lens which you are seeing. If you are seeing through the right perspective, your right communication, harmonious communication happens. When you are having harmonious communication, all your movements which are there will be harmonious, including the mind movements which are there. If your harmonious movements are there, including mind and body, then harmonious lifestyle is possible. When you are in harmony in life, then harmonious practice is possible. When you are practicing harmoniously, harmonious observation is possible. And when there is harmonious observation, then is harmonious collectedness. So if one you are doing, the other things will come in kind of line. So it is one will lead to another. So that will go by this way. Lady, is that clinging the same as these 5 aggregates affected by clinging, or is the clinging something apart from the 5 aggregates affected by clinging? Friend Vaishaka, that clinging is neither the same as these 5 aggregates. That means that body is itself not clinging, and feeling itself is not clinging, and perception itself is not clinging, and sankharas or formations itself is not clinging, the consciousness itself is not clinging. Nor is clinging something apart from the 5 aggregates when affected by clinging. But the clinging cannot be said to be apart from the body, feeling, perception, formations, or the consciousness. So they are not apart also. They cannot be said because there is body, there will be clinging. Then there is no escape, no? It is desire and lust in regard to the 5 aggregates. When affected by clinging, that is the clinging there. When you are kind of in love with the body, then there is clinging for the body. If you are in love with the feelings, then you are in love with the feelings. Then there is clinging over there. If you, the same with perception, same with formation, same with consciousness. When there is attachment to that, then that clinging comes to be. So when there is attachment, there is that. But if the body is there, for an arahant, the body is also there. There is also feeling is there. There is perception is there. There is formation is there. There is consciousness is there. But there is no clinging. So that is how it has to be seen. That when we are clinging,
Based on Buddha's teaching, is it okay? Basically, is it justified Pandavas killing Kauravas? Does that justify or not?
I cannot say about the part, but Buddha said that there are no kind of killings which are kind of justified. So one of the things I will tell you, not about Pandava Kaurava, but there is Ajahn Jaisar who had come recently, So he is very famous in Thailand. So he was called by military people to give a kind of a talk. He had gone there, and then they asked this question that I am a military man, I am on the border and I have to kill somebody. So will I go to hell? Ajahn Chesaro said that, see, that is a sacrifice you make for the country, okay, killing somebody. Whatever you kill, that you get the bad karma of that. That is unmistakable. But because you are doing sacrifice for the country, there is some good karma also which is there. So that is what he said. That so for doing being a kind of a righteous person and being there. One other instance I will tell you. There was a Jataka Katha. Buddha is talking about his life when he was a bodhisattva. So in that life, he and I think Ananda were two brothers, and there was a evil person over there, and he was going to do something big evil, and there were many people were going to get affected. So he killed that person with his brother, Ananda, and means Ananda in this life, but whatever life they were there, and they were born as animals for many times. So they were born as pigeons and different kinds of animals they were born as because of that karma. So that is even a bodhisattva, if he does a killing, he has to have that karmic effect he has to fulfill. So that is how, there is one other story where the Buddha does that is bodhisattva, kills somebody. But because of that, he goes to hell. So whatever even the bodhisattva does for a good cause, to kind of save the other somebody else from going to hell for a long time, he kind of takes, because his parmis are good, so he says, I'll not spend that much time in hell. But this guy will go on forever. So to save him, he kills somebody. So now he has to go to hell, even as a bodhisattva. So any wrong, this is a kind of a law of the universe. He says, if the Buddha is there or not there, this law of the universe cannot be changed. Like Einstein is there or not, or what is it? Newton is there or not, gravity will be there, no? So gravity does not depend on Newton, but Newton defines that gravity, and we can use that definition to go to say Mars or go to moon. So in the same way, we can. He does not make the rules; he kind of defines the rules, and with these rules, we can benefit from that. So that is how we have to see. Okay. Wrong? See, there are many wrong views. So there is a Digha Nikaya 1, a Brahmajala Sutta. In Brahmajala Sutta, I think 64 wrong views are mentioned. 62, 62. 62, I think, wrong views are mentioned. So there are different, and he's saying how those wrong views are also coming. Like somebody has a psychic power, okay? He can see somebody passing away and going to heaven, hell. He can have that much he has developed. So now he sees this guy is a good person, but he is going to hell. And then he says, oh, doing good has no benefit. So we should not do good, because if you do good, you go to hell. But that is a wrong kind of view, because he is not understanding that in the longer picture, he had done something in a much more past. And that past had kind of fruition had come now, and because of that fruition, he has gone to hell. But whatever he has done in this life good, he will gain in the future. But as a Buddha can see a long period of time. Then he can have a complete picture of what is happening. So then Buddha does not have the wrong views. That wrong view can be generated in that manner, because having a limited understanding. Even though you may think that I am having psychic power and maybe I am better than everybody, but he still has a limited view. Yes?
One thing, in which life did Moggallana kill his parents?
That is not said, but it is said that in the commentary that many eons before he had done that. Long time back. And after that, he had that karma was still there. pending in this life.
He dies by getting murdered.
Correct. By his kind of parents and who are his relatives in this life.
Bhante, one question, like in general, it is said that we need to let go even the Dhamma. What do you say on that, Bhante?
Let us just get attracted to Dhamma, then we let that go. So,
Is it true, Bhante?
yeah, it is said that Sariputta, when he was fanning the Buddha, in one of the suttas it is mentioned also, that Buddha is giving a discourse and then he realized that the Buddha is also not attached to the Dhamma. And that realization itself, he became an Arahant, Sariputta became an Arahant. But Buddha also has said, they asked the Buddha that, that we are your students, we stay in dependence on you. Whom do you stay in dependence on? The Buddha said, I stay in dependence on the Dhamma. So that is also the case. So that not being attached does not mean not paying attention or not respecting.
Did the Buddha say what comes after the Dhamma?
Not Dhamma is in itself complete. That is the truth.
I
No?
mean,
After?
if you let go of the Dhamma as well, after you've been attracted and you're in it.
There is nothing after that. It is just the attachments which are there, which has gone. So that attachment does not even carry forward to the Dhamma. That's the reason when we are talking about the Dhamma as a raft. In one of the sutta, he gives a very elaborate thing like you pick up the sticks, vines, and make a kind of bunch and make a raft to kind of cross. That's the description of the Dhamma he has given. It's a practical thing to kind of take this and cross. That's the reason he gives the teaching also in very different ways. He gives many different objects of meditation also. So that it is a practical, that is what he is saying, it is a practical method to kind of, it's a means to an end, not an end in itself. So that is what it means. Lady, how does identity you come to be? That is we have gone. Here friend, Vaishaka, an untaught ordinary person who has no regard for noble ones and is unskilled and undisciplined in their Dhamma, who has no regard for true men and is unskilled and undisciplined in their Dhamma, regards the material form as self, or self as possessed of material form. It may think that this is material which is there is self, or this material itself has the self in it, or material form as in self. So material form itself is self, or self as in material form. So that means that in the material form, in that material form, inside it there is a self. So different ways of attracting to the self which is there. In the same way he thinks about the feeling, the same way he thinks about the perception, same way he thinks about the formation, same way he thinks about the consciousness. So he makes up some kind of a idea. So there are 4 different ideas which is there, 5, so 20 different ideas are there where he can make a self. So everybody has a different idea of a self. A conscious being, we are conscious being and consciousness. So consciousness is a self. So that can be a thing. Or in the consciousness there is a self. Or some kind of that ideas which are there that can be come out, and that idea you will, that is how identity view comes to be. So you attach to one of those combination of things, and it can be a combination of 2 or 3 things also, it can be there. So it can be a lot of combinations where we get attracted and make a identity view out of us. Lady, how does identity view not come to be? Here Vaishaka, if well taught noble disciple who has regard for noble ones and is skilled and disciplined in their Dhamma, who has regard for true men and is skilled and disciplined in their Dhamma, does not regard form as self. In that sense, everything which is there, he does not regard as self. Feeling is there, different ways of feeling is there, different ways of perception, different ways of formations, different ways of consciousness. Nothing he considers as self. So he kind of calculates or kind of contemplates how is the body? Can I change the body or not? If I cannot change the body, then how can I say it is mine? Like Buddha gives an example of a king which is there in a kingdom. So when he has a kingdom which is there, then he can tax anybody, he can arrest anybody, he can banish anybody. So he can do whatever he wants to do. But can we do the same with the body? We cannot wish or anything like that. So then we cannot say this is there. The same thing about the feeling, perception, formations and consciousness. The same thing, we cannot change anything. And we can see they are impermanent. When you are doing meditation, you can see they are impermanent, they are changing. And then we can also see they are impersonal. They happen on their own. All the changes happen on their own. So that is what we can say, that identity view does not come to be. Lady, what is the Noble Eightfold Path? Friend Vaishaka, it is this same, that is right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness and right collectedness or concentration. Lady, is the Noble Eightfold Path conditioned or unconditioned? Friend Vaishaka, the Noble Eightfold Path is conditioned. So there is only one unconditioned state. And what is that? Nibbana, correct. Nibbana is the only unconditioned state. All the other states are conditioned. So even, yes. Conditioned is, as sometimes we give an example of a pen. I don't have a pen. Okay, I have a pen. See, this is there, okay? Can anybody touch a pen? Huh? If I ask you to touch the pen, if you touch over here, I'll say you have touched the cap. If you touch over here, I'll say you touch the tube. If you touch over here, then I'll say you have touched the end cap. If you touch over here, you have touched the nib. So where is the pen? So this thing which is there is a conditioned thing. Pen is coming together of things, bringing it together. There is no pen in reality. This is a concept.
Like the chariot.
Huh?
Chariot.
Chariot. Example in the suttas given is chariot, yes. So there is no kind of pen, but when we are bringing all these things together, it is a thing. So the condition, so we can say this is a conditioned thing. But if you consider the basic thing where there is nothing conditioned, that is the state of mind which is there, where there is nothing conditioned. That mind is the Nibbana state of Nibbana. That is coming after the cessation experience or after when a Arhat passes away. That is the state he abides in. There is no condition. One other way is they say that say if there is a castle which is made out of sand and that is kind of the wave comes and flattens that castle. Then what was there? There is nothing. No, the castle is not there. So the castle was conditioned, and whatever is the sand is considered to be the unconditioned. So in that sense, so that is what a conditioned thing is there. Then this is a conditioned thing. Eightfold Path has also been conditioned. Lady, are the three aggregates included by the Eightfold Path, or is the Noble Eightfold Path included by the three aggregates? The three aggregate is Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Okay? So Sila, Samadhi, Panya is the three aggregates. Aggregate is a kind of grouping together. Okay? Is it included by the Eightfold Path? So they are saying that the three aggregates are not included by the Eightfold Path, friend Vaishaka, but the Eightfold Path is included by the three aggregates. So Eightfold Path is not the complete, but when we say the three aggregates can incorporate the Eightfold Path. The whole thing which is there can be incorporated by the Eightfold Path. So, right speech, right action and right livelihood. These aggregates are included in the aggregate of Sila or virtue. Okay? So, they are also part of the precepts. Okay? So, virtue is a part of the precepts. So, when we are saying that right speech is there, so then that comes as a part of the precept. Right action, I said the four things which are coming as in the precepts, and right that is livelihood is there. So right livelihood is also a part of the precepts, which is that you are living a right life. Huh?
So does he prescribe celibacy for monks?
For monks, yes. Monks, it is a very kind of a. There are say 4 things for monks. If they don't follow, they are not considered monks from the moment they break that. So one of them is celibacy.
So where would something like masturbation fit?
That is a grave crime. That is also it's a kind of a, for monks that means that there has to be 20 monks have to come together. There is a procedure which is there, and then they assign some penalties on the monk. There can be a penalty that they lose their seniority for a period of time, and all those things. It's a very kind of a big thing. So people are very kind of afraid to. So it is a very kind of a serious thing, and sometimes you are kind of exposed between with the all the sangha, no. So that is also a kind of public humiliation which is there. So that is a part of that. So it's considered a grave thing.
But this is from medical science, it is considered to be normal.
Uh-huh.
Then why is it considered as a sin or such a grave crime in?
It's a natural.
It's a natural thing is not considered that deliberate. See, if it is a kind of that naturally happens, that is not considered an offense. But if it is done deliberately with intention, that is what the thing is. And what is your action? Kamma is with intention. If it is done with intention. Yes.
In that way, there are so many things which is natural, but still we have to follow the path in the Dhamma. If we have to follow, we have to follow.
Yeah, that is that. What he is saying, involuntary. What he is saying is involuntary. If it is involuntary, it is not considered an offense. So only if it is a voluntary, intentional based action, that is considered.
But there has to be some reason behind it. Why is it a crime? Why is it?
Because if you are becoming a monk, you are holded to a higher standard. So you cannot be held to the same standard as a lay person.
It's not
So-
a crime, it's a requirement, isn't it?
No, it's not a requirement. It is it is a training process, no? So when you are becoming a monk, you are accepting the process of training, and in this process of training, you are giving up something. The renunciation is a part of that. So you renounce a lot of things which are there. Like he said that there are many natural things which are there, like the food is there. So we renounce having a meal in the evening. There are certain things allowed to have in the after noon day. There are certain things allowed, but we are not having a meal. A normal meal we are not having. And there are many things which are there for a monk which have been prescribed. So this is a training process. So for a monk is not held as the same as a lay person. Yes.
So for example, in a meal it is like controlled and it has some kind of like you are going to have this meal or not this meal. It's not completely abundant.
Mhm.
But for the celibacy, like it's completely abundant.
Yes, it is abundant completely. That is what the Buddha says, that then you have to make a choice. If you want to become a monk, then you have to make a choice. And you have to live by that choice, you know. And then there are many...
Benefits of this, like when you do this, are there benefits? For example, if you are having food until the afternoon or something like that, there are benefits. But being a celibacy, are there benefits in terms of physical or mental?
Benefits is like you are, if you renounce, so there are many things you are renouncing. Okay, when you are renouncing whatever is there, what you think is mine, me, all that thoughts and the things which are there, you are renouncing those things. So it's a process of renunciation. A monk life is about renouncing everything. A monk life is towards renouncing totally everything. So this is a start of renouncing. There are many.
Certain grip over craving.
Yes, certain grip over craving, sir.
It means a monk who was supposed to not
Correct.
as mother.
That is a good. Okay. So we can move on. There are lots of information is there. We are going to stay here till 8. Huh?
Monk put you renounced everything so that we are praying. Because you are sacrificed all the enjoyments from this year so that we are praying.
Yes, sir. And another thing is monk is also dependent on the people. So they are taking the support. So now one of the things that Buddha talks about is that when you are a monk, you have a debt to the society, and that debt is to become a awakened being, to become an arahant. So that is a debt. When the only way a monk pays this debt to the society is by becoming an arahant. So that is also a big burden.
All pleasures and enjoyments, everything is available. But you monk put you are sacrificing everything so that when you are coming, we are praying and post everything we are doing because of that only.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll continue. So, right effort, okay, harmonious practice, harmonious observation, that is right mindfulness, and harmonious collectedness or right concentration. These states are included in the aggregate of concentration or samadhi. Right view and right intention or right perspective and right imaging. These states are included in the aggregate of wisdom or panya or knowing or knowledge. That is which is there. So the Eightfold Path is in 3 aggregates which are done. Lady, what is concentration or collectedness? What is the basis of collectedness? What is the equipment of collectedness? What is the development of collectedness? Unification of mind. Friend Vaishaka is collectedness. So unification of mind is your mind is on a single thing. So wherever it wants it to put its mind, it can put and keep it on that thing. The 4 foundations of mindfulness four foundations of mindfulness are the basis of concentration, or 4 foundations are the body which is there, the feeling which is there, the mind, the dhammas which are there. Dhammas are the phenomena which is there, and then mind. Those things which are there are the objects of meditation. So when we are doing our meditation, we are including all of them. When we are there in meditation, initially we are aware of the body, we are aware of the feeling, we are aware of all the phenomena which are happening, all the things which is happening in the mind and everything. There is restlessness is there is sloth and torpor, all the mind phenomena which are there, we are aware of. Then we are aware of the mind which is there. If it is wholesome, unwholesome, all those things which are there. So when we are doing the practice, we are doing this 4 foundations of concentration or collectedness. The 4 right efforts of striving are the equipment. So what is 6 hours is the equipment. 4 right strivings are, if your mind don't allow the unwholesome soul, so recognize if it is there. Don't allow it, and if it is there, recognize. Then remove that unwholesome, bring up wholesome, and increase the wholesome till the logical end. So that is the 4. That is the equipment for samadhi. So right efforts, 6 hours which I are saying, that is the equipment which is there for samadhi. And the repetition. The repetition, so that you have to repeat again. That repetition is very important. That is the reason return is there, no? And repeat when it is required. So that repeat is there. So that repetition, development. So how do we develop? We develop something. Okay? So when we are developing something, we are working on it and we are putting our attention, we are putting our effort. And cultivation. Cultivation is what? When we are cultivating, say, rice or something, or paddy or something like that, what we do is we make the ground, we put the seeds, we kind of put the fertilizer, we put the effort, and we have patience also. So patience is very important thing. does not happen in the one day. That is Doha is there, no? Dhire dhire remana dhire sab kuch hoy. Mali siche 100 ghada, rutu aifal hoy. So it will happen when the timing is right. So you have to cultivate and keep on kind of giving it what is your attention is there. Your attention is the nutriment which is there. You have to give that, cultivate that. These same states is the development of the collectedness therein. So the samadhi, to reach the samadhi, these are the things which are needed. So this is important, so I'll repeat. Huh?
But can you explain once again about the right striving, 4 right kinds of striving?
One is said that don't allow the unwholesome to come in the mind. So you start with that, no? You start with the wholesome and not to kind of get distracted. Right effort, huh? Right effort. Or 6 hours. So that is the same thing. So I'll read the thing. Unification of mind. Friend Vaishaka is collectedness. The 4 foundations of mindfulness are the basis of collectedness. The 4 right kinds of striving are the equipment of collectedness. The repetition, development and cultivation of this same state is the development of the collectedness therein. So you have to repeat, develop and cultivate. So you have to keep on doing it, keep on giving your energy. Then when the time is right, you will get the fruits. Lady, how many formations are there? There are these 3 formations, friend Vaishaka: bodily formations, verbal formation and mental formations. But lady, what is the bodily formation? What is the verbal formation? What is the mental formation? In breathing and out breathing, friend Vaishaka, are the bodily formation. Thinking and examining thought, or applied thought and sustained thought. That is another translation which is there. So applied thought and sustained thought, or thinking and examining thought, are the verbal formation. Perception and feeling are the mental formation. But lady, why are in breathing and out breathing the bodily formation? Why are the thinking and examining thought, or applied thought and sustained thought, the verbal formation? Why are the perception and feeling the mental formation? Friend Vaishaka, in breathing and out breathing are bodily. So in breathing and is done by the body. These are states wound up with the body. That is why in breathing and out breathing are the bodily formation. First one applies thought and sustains thought, and subsequently one breaks out into speech. So once thinking happens, and then examining happens, and then we speak. So that is thinking and examining, and then we come to the speech. That is why thinking and examining thought, or applied thought and sustained thought, are the verbal formation. Perception and feeling are mental. These states are bound up with the mind. That is why perception and feeling are the mental formation. So any kind of, yes.
On the thing before, like collectedness and concentration are 2 different things. Right? Concentration.
No, collectedness is the same in that sense. It is from a different perspective we are coming. Bhante Vimalamji kind of, there is one thing which is called one-pointed concentration. So people were kind of mistaking it for that word as a one-pointedness. That's the reason Bhante Vimalamji said we need to use another word, because the actual words is samadhi. Pali word is samadhi, and it is translated as concentration. So Bhante did not like the word concentration. Over here also it said that unification of the mind. So collectedness gives more closer to the unification of the mind. So that's the reason Bhante used this translation. Concentration can be also meaning that your one-pointedness is there. That is to kind of distance himself, that word from that understanding. He kind of said that he will translate it as collectedness.
Is there any sutta where they like separate these 2 out?
There is one. One other way is ekagata. That is ekagata. That is that is all is in one. Like all faculties are one. So that is the translation that Bhante wanted to say. or the unification of mind over here, which is a translation which is there. That all your mental faculties they are on one subject, rather than going absorbed into the subject. So your faculties are directed towards the subject rather than getting absorbed. Like if you do the breathing with one pointedness, you just have breathing and nothing else happens. The mind does not move. Yes?
But the ekagrata is like focused attention.
It can be, but it is upon the how you understand it. How do you perceive that word based on that?
One thing we can say that by collectedness we are aware of the outside world also, whereas in the concentration we may not be happy. Like
Yeah, we get
by
absorbed.
concentration will not be happy.
Correct. So there is a,
And do different schools like take different views on this? Like,
correct.
Like the Goenka model, I think, is more on concentration or
Cor-
like 6.3.
Correct. In Goenka, they can get so much involved in that there is nothing else. I had a couple of good experiences also. Somebody also explained that same way. The whole thing is paining and then it burst into kind of joy and all this. That is there. But then you have nothing out of that. There is no wisdom coming out of it. Then you are chasing it. And that is the first thing you should not do. Don't chase after experiences. And that is the first thing I did.
Even a simple thing, simple word like samadhi is defined 100 traditions as 100 ways. So different traditions can have.
Yeah, that is the same samadhi only we are discussing. Yeah, all tradition have their own take on it. And that is ekagata also, as you said. If it from another perspective, it can be seen as a very concentrated state also. But how you perceive the instructions and like how it is effective. Bhante says that for somebody who translates, there is a different perspective, and somebody who practices, there is a different perspective because he has an experiential knowledge. So Bhante used to change words based on his experience.
So Bhikkhu Bodhi uses collectedness or does he use concentration?
He uses concentration.
He uses concentration.
But Bhante had actually gone to Bhikkhu Bodhi and kind of given his point of view also about collectedness. And one of the things Bhikkhu Bodhi has maybe changed because of Bhante's talk was when he's talking about body of breath. Body is in Anapanasati, he's talking about body, and there is in the bracket is body of breath. That body of breath he has removed. He just mentions body now in the translations. Because there is nowhere in the sutta where it has been mentioned that what is body. It is only mentioned as body. That body should be, and body is defined by the Buddha from the top of the head till the tip of the toes.
Which tradition does Bhikkhu Bodhi belong to?
He is a Theravada monk. He was ordained in Sri Lanka.
In Theravada?
Huh?
In Theravada, which school?
I don't know in Theravada which goal, but I think Theravada, Sri Lankan, whatever tradition must be there. That is what, but he stays for the last 20 years in a Chinese temple because he gets access to agamas, which is there, and he is well supported over there.
The reason I ask is because who translates it depends on their tradition also. They can see in their lens.
Yeah, but Bhikkhu Bodhi is very kind of broad based. He has Mahayana knowledge, he has the knowledge of agamas, and if certain one of the things I told about if you go through this Kindle version, sometimes there is one word you see what there is what is the explanation of that he has given. 2 pages explanation he has given. Why he has chosen that? So well, he has been a monk for 50 years, more than I have been alive. So he has a lot of, and he has been a scholar monk for that time. So he has a lot of. So I would not doubt his this thing, but he is not a practicing monk. He has a certain kind of limitations on practice also. But he is as a translator. Bhante used to trust his translation. Wherever his translations are there, he used to use only that. So Samyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, his translations are there. So he used to use that translation.
When has he also got all these translations done?
He has done it in the.
Is the interpretation different
It should be a little bit different, but it cannot match because there are many monks who have translated, and their wordings and everything are quite different. Like suttacentral.org, Sujato, Ajahn Sujato. Ajahn Sujato's translation are also a little different. And anyways, Bante liked this translation, but he still changed some words from this translation. Okay, we can. Ready? How does the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling come to be? So now this is about the cessation of perception, what we saw in the Majjhima Nikaya 111. Lady, how does the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling come to be? Friend Vaishaka, when a student is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, it does not occur to him, I shall attain the cessation of perception and feeling. As I told you, before that he does not know. Or I am attaining the cessation of perception. So when he is going into the cessation, he does not know. I have attained the cessation of perception and feeling, he does not know. He does not know that time also. But rather, his mind has previously been developed in such a way that it leads to that state. So that mind has been developed in that way. So how is that developed? When you are in meditation, when you are letting go, that is how you are developing your mind to go into cessation. One other way is saying that you have balanced the 7 factors of awakening. The mindfulness, investigation, energy, joy, tranquility, samadhi, and equanimity. That all things which is there, you have balanced. When that balance has been there, that has been preparing the ground to go into cessation. So that is there. And then there is another second meaning of this. Now the second meaning is there is an anagami or there is an arahant. Anagami and arahant can go into this cessation whenever they want with the determination. Now that determination, they can say, I want to be in the cessation for 1 hour, and then they sit in meditation and they go into cessation. And for 1 hour they will be, and in 1 hour they will get up out of it. So the determination I told you about waking up, that helps to have that mind ready for that kind of practices. Then certain people can stay, as per Buddha in the suttas also it has been mentioned, for 7 days, maximum 7 days. It cannot be more than 7 days, or they cannot come out of that state. So Deepa Ma was supposed to stay in this for 6 days. 6 days she could stay in that state. So there can be people who can go there. Lady, when a student is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, which state sees first in him? The bodily formation, the verbal formation, or the mental formation? Friend Vaishaka, when a student is attaining cessation of perception and feeling, first verbal formation ceases. So you also see that when you are there in meditation, you go into the second jhana, the verbal formation ceases. No? That happens. So first thing which happens when you are doing meditation is the ceasing of the verbal formation. Then what happens is, then the bodily formations. When you are going into arupa jhana, what is there? Bodily formations are not there. Then the mental formation. So when you are going into cessation, there is no perception and feeling. And what is the third thing which is not there? Consciousness. Yes, perception, feeling, and consciousness. So there is no mental thing which are happening, no mental formations. So that is how this happens. So first verbal, second is body, and then mental. Lady, how does emergence from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling come to be? Friend Vaishaka, when a student is emerging from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, it does not occur to him, I shall emerge from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling. So he does not know that he is coming out. Or I am emerging from the attainment of the cessation and perception. So he does not know when he is coming out. Or I have emerged from the attainment of the perception and feeling. But rather, his mind has been previously developed in such a way that it leads him to that state. So leading his mind is also if you are going in a cessation, you can come out of according to your mind development, or because you had made a determination. In both the ways, you come out of the cessation of perception and feeling. Lady, when a student is emerging from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, which states arise first in him? The bodily formation, verbal formation, or the mental formation? Friend Vaishaka, when a student is emerging from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, first the mental formation arises. So it is an opposite way. So the opposite way it is happening. Mental formation arises, then the bodily formation, then the verbal formation. Lady, when a student has emerged from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, how many kinds of contact touch him? Friend Vaishaka, when a student has emerged from the cessation of perception and feeling, 3 kinds of contact touch him. Voidness contact, signless contact, and desireless contact. So these are void is without anything. That is, maybe you are going into the state of say nothingness, and there is that nothingness is signless, and then there is desireless. Means all kind of attachment which is there is not there when you are coming out. Yes.
One day when the person does the psychic travel, that person will be in which jhana?
I have no idea. No idea. I am not interested in psychic travel and all those things. So I have not done. But Buddha says one thing about psychic thing is, if you have developed the 4th jhana very well, it is like, say, this cup is there filled to the brim. Okay? If you are very well versed with the 4th jhana, it is like the cup which is full of water. You can kind of tip the cup anywhere and the water will fall there. So it can be tipped to going for the higher jhanas, or it can be tipped to get psychic abilities. So you can get psychic abilities from 4th jhana onwards. If you are in 4th jhana, and then you can put your mind attention over there, then you can develop. Yes? Because he said no, that the 4th jhana is a place where your mind is optimally developed to go into any direction. And he can go to any direction. If he tips over here, he goes over there.
But the difference between voidness and signless one.
See, that I am not 100% sure, but voidness is like shunyata. Signless is like without any signs. So, like the one thing about the nothingness which is said, it is a place, it is a signless space, and you have to pay, don't pay attention to any signs and let go of all signs. Pay attention to the signless and let go of all signs. So that means that it is something closer to the nothingness which is there. And this is voidness would be like shunyata, like total kind of without anything. And this could be like a state of nothingness. And then the desireless contact could be the giving up of the fetters, which is been told in the MN 111. Yes? Yeah? It is post.
Post cessation, you would have nothingness.
You would have just nothing, and then everything will start. So there is a one other state which is there. Faculties are very much kind of enhanced. You see everything which is very bright, and you can hear. Your skin is very sensitive to. You can feel the wind also, and that kind of mindset. And that is also mentioned over here. We will go through that. Yes, you are asking a question.
Does the Buddha give a sutta about recognizing someone who's reached arahanthood?
The?
Does he give a sutta about recognizing how to recognize someone who's reached enlightenment?
Yeah, so he say a very simple test he gives us to recognize if you are arahant or not.
For yourself.
Yeah, for yourself is that you see in your mind if there are no lust, aversion or delusion. If none of this is arising, then you can consider yourself an arahant. If this is arising, then you are not an arahant. That is a simple test. Now the test for others, he says you have to stay with them for a long time and see for yourself. So somebody says that long time is 9 months, somebody says that long time is 2 years. See, if you are staying with somebody constantly for 2 years, only then you can make a kind of qualified judgment about that person being an arahant or not. In that period, he should not have displayed any time any of the lustful desires or aversions or delusions. So then you can say. So for others, it is very difficult to kind of monitor. For us, it is very easy. We just look at the mind and say if it is
The
there.
story of those two students and the teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. These days there are some lay people who call themselves arahants. What do you say about that?
So I will say that there are only two scenarios in suttas where arahant has been there, who is a lay person, and both were on the deathbed. As I told you about how anagami can become an arahant is on the deathbed. Okay, so it is kind of misunderstood also, this concept that if you become an arahant and don't ordain in 7 days, you will die. That is not the case. The recorded arahants, lay arahants, was Suddhodana, father of Buddha. He was an anagami and he was laying on his deathbed, and on his deathbed he gave up, before 7 days of his passing away, he gave up his kind of attachment and he became an arahant and he passed away. Then there is one other lay person who is being advised by another lay person. Like when he goes and there is a kind of a chanting or the recollection is happening, which we consider chanting or recollection, where he was just giving him the advice when he was passing away. So he was an anagami, and before he passed away, he gave up his attachment. Before he died, he gave up his attachment. Then the monks came to Buddha and said, this lay person has kind of passed away. What was he? Buddha said, he is an arahant, as much of an arahant as any of my monks. So it can happen at the deathbed. You can attain that thing. But as a lay person, there is some attachment is there. If there is attachment is there, then you cannot kind of be. Now other people who are anagami and who have not become monks in the suttas which has mentioned, they have a very valid reason for not becoming a monk. Like there is one in Kasapa Buddha. He had a disciple who was a anagami, and his parents were blind. And because the parents were blind, he used to take care of it. And he used to live in such a manner that he was a potter. So he used to not dig the sand also. Ghatika. So he used to kind of put a basket in the river and kind of let the sand, clay fall on it, and that clay he used to make pots. When he made the pots, he used to not charge them this price tag. He used to have a kind of a collection basket. You said you want to take anything you can take, you can put anything which you want to put. And he used to kind of said, I just need money to survive. So that is the mindset he was saying. The king gave him 2 cartloads of things. He said, no, I don't want, I am happy, you give it away to other people. So that is the kind of mindset is there for a anagami.
So does it mean that anagami, how much ever he practices in the right way, he can never become arahant until he dies? How much ever properly he practices?
He does not practice now. His next practice is to give up his lay life. He is not doing that, no. Then how is that? How much ever? There is a limit, no. He is not giving up his lay life because there is attachment to something, no. So that is the reason. So there is
the first requirement.
So that see what happened was Vaishakha became anagami, but he had to serve the king. So he had this attachment to serve the king. So then he said that I cannot, because I am a treasurer of the king. He was a big merchant also, but he was a treasurer of the king also. So because of that he said, no, I will not kind of become a monk. And thus he kind of delayed this thing. But in that thing also I said that there are many levels of giving up. So if you have given up sufficient, at the time of passing away also you can, or 7 days on the deathbed also you can become an arahant. It is just how much attachment you have.
What is that 7 days of deathbed you are talking about?
So when you are an anagami, you can become an arahant on the deathbed. 7 days within your death is there that you can become. Or
Within after you get.
if he is an anagami and he is on a deathbed, within 7 days of before his death, he can become an arahant, he can give up. Or at the time of the death, or in the process of death, or immediately after death, or before his consciousness or mind reaches the Brahmaloka, or when he touches the Brahmaloka, or in a short time, or a middle time, or a long time. That is what we discussed. No? So any time it can happen, because how much is your attachment? Based on that attachment, that time level is there. No? So if you have given up everything and you are kind of free, then as soon as your thing is there, obligations are over, you will become a monk. So that is what, and that is what the Buddha is talking about, no? Okay, so where were we? I forgot where were we. Desireless contact. So we'll. Lady, when a student has emerged from the attainment of the cessation of feeling and perception, what does his mind incline to? What does his mind lean to? What does it tend to? So how does his mind go after he is coming out? Friend Vaishaka, when a student has emerged from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, his mind inclines to seclusion, leans to seclusion, tends to seclusion. So his mind wants to be alone after that. It wants to be quiet. It has to be away from others. Lady, how many kinds of feeling are there? Friend Vaishaka, there are 3 kinds of feeling: pleasant feeling, painful feeling, and neither painful nor pleasant feeling. But lady, what is pleasant feeling? What is painful feeling? What is neither painful or pleasant feeling? So it is going in detail. Friend Vaishaka, whatever is felt bodily or mentally as pleasant and soothing is pleasant feeling. Whatever is felt bodily or mentally as painful and hurting is painful feeling. Whatever is felt bodily or mentally as neither soothing nor hurting is neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Lady, what is pleasant and what is painful in regard to pleasant feeling? What is painful and what is pleasant regarding to the painful feeling? What is pleasant and what is painful in regard to neither painful nor pleasant feeling? So in every feeling there is painful and pleasant. Friend Vaishaka, pleasant feeling is pleasant when it persists. When it is pleasant feeling is going on, it is feeling pleasant, and painful when it changes. Okay? So that pleasant feeling changes, it feels painful. Painful feeling is painful when it persists and pleasant when it changes. So when the painful feeling is, say, headache is there and it goes, you feel nice, or the knees are paining or the meditation pain is there, it goes, you feel nice. So that is there. Neither painful nor pleasant feeling is pleasant when there is knowledge of it, and painful when there is no knowledge. So neither painful nor pleasant feeling is painful when there is knowledge of it. So it's pleasant when is the knowledge, and painful when there is no knowledge. When are the things when we are not aware? Like I gave you some scenarios. Say you are traveling in a bus and you find that half an hour has passed, or you are just sitting in the Saturday morning reading newspaper or watching something and waiting for somebody, and that time passes, nothing has happened. So now there is nothing, no knowledge about what the time has passed. There is not painful also, not pleasant also, but that time has passed. So that is the kind of time is there. But what is the neither painful nor pleasant feeling where the knowledge of it is there? What is the state? Correct, equanimity. Equanimity is where our awareness is there of that state. And that is the reason the knowledge is there. Lady, what underlying tendency underlines pleasant feeling? What underlying tendency underlines painful feeling? What underlying tendency underlines neither painful nor pleasant feeling? Friend Vaishaka, the underlying tendency to lust underlines pleasant feeling. So pleasant feeling is that you want to more. The underlying tendency to aversion underlies painful feeling. So when there is painful feeling, we don't want to get rid of it. The underlying tendency to ignorance underlines neither painful nor pleasant feeling. So neither painful nor pleasant feeling, there is ignorance is there, because we have no knowledge of it. Lady, does the underlying tendency to lust underline all pleasant feeling? Does the underlying tendency to aversion underline all painful feeling? Does the underlying tendency to ignorance underline all neither painful nor pleasant feeling? Friend Vaishaka, the underlying tendency to lust does not underline all pleasant feeling. The underlying tendency to aversion does not underline all painful feeling. The underlying tendency to ignorance does not underline all neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Lady, what should be abandoned in regard to the pleasant feeling? What should be abandoned in regard to the painful feeling? And what should be abandoned in regard to neither painful nor pleasant feeling? Friend Vaishaka, the underlying tendency to lust should be abandoned in regard to the pleasant feeling. The underlying tendency to aversion should be abandoned in the regard to the painful feeling. So when there is pleasant, then there is a tendency to hold on to it. That you have to let go. If there is kind of painful, there is a aversion which is there. That we have to let go of that. The underlying tendency to aversion should be abandoned in regard to painful feeling. The underlying tendency to ignorance should be abandoned in the regard to neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Lady, does the underlying tendency to lust have to be abandoned in regard to all pleasant feeling? Does the underlying tendency to aversion have to be abandoned in regard to all painful feeling? Does the underlying tendency to ignorance have to be abandoned in regard to all neither painful nor pleasant feeling? Friend Vaishaka, the underlying tendency to lust does not have to be abandoned in regard to all pleasant feeling or the painful feeling, aversion and all these things. Here, friend Vaishaka, quite secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states, a student enters upon and abides in the first jhana, which is accompanied by thinking and examining thought, with joy and happiness born of seclusion. With that, he abandons lust, and the underlying tendency to lust does not underline that. So, any pleasure which is there through the jhanas does not have lust in it. So that is not a dangerous thing. And if even if you are attracted to that jhanic states, then that is not dangerous because you are in a wholesome state. Here a student considers thus: when shall I enter upon the and abide in the base of the noble ones? Now enter upon and abide. In one who thus generates a longing for the supreme liberation, grief arises. With that longing as condition, with that he abandons aversion, and the underlying tendency to aversion does not underline that. So somebody who has not still become an arahant or an anagami or a sotapanna, there is a kind of a longing for that. That longing also is a grief which is there. But that underlying tendency to aversion is not there in that, because it's a wholesome desire. That wholesome desire is required to attain. Like one I told that desire is like having an address. Say if I want to go to Delhi, so I have the address which is there. Without address, can I travel? I cannot travel. I will need the address. So that I will travel. But when I come to that address, will I need this address? No, I cannot. I can just then let go of that address. So that is the kind of desire which is there, which is required to reach the destination. When you are in destination, you don't require that. And that destination is when you are in quiet mind. When I am talking about quiet mind to a lot of people, that quiet mind is the destination. There you have to abandon everything. I say don't pay attention to anything. If there is a light which is there or something there, somebody was explaining to me, oh this happened and that happened. I said, how did it happen? Because you paid attention to it. So don't pay attention, let go. So still it happens. After we say this for 7 times, 8 times, 10 times, but that is the mind's inclination. But then you have to learn. That is also a process of learning. That's also a learning curve which is there. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay, we understood and we let go of that. So we have to, there is no tendency to aversion which underline that. And here with the abandoning of pleasure and pain, with the previous disappearance of joy and grief, a student enters upon and abides in the fourth jhana, which has neither pain nor pleasure, and purity of mindfulness due to equanimity. With that, he abandons ignorance, and the underlying tendency to ignorance does not underline that. So when you are in the equanimity state, then there is no ignorance. There is awareness is there. So this state of mind which is there only you can get in meditation. In lay life you cannot have that experience of equanimity. You can have neither painful or non-painful experience, but that has ignorance in it. You don't know. But over here there is knowledge, there is awareness. So only through meditation you can get. And this is considered to be the best experience a human being can have. Sometimes they say that it's a better experience than even the gods can experience. Because equanimity is only possible when we have that understanding. And that understanding can only be developed through meditation. And if with this mindset, if you go to the heaven, you go to the corresponding heavenly place also. If you go with the with dana and kind of shila, you go to the heavenly. There is a different experience you have. But with meditation, if you have this meditation experience, then and you are kind of thorough with that, and you are habituated to that, then you are guaranteed that you go to that kind of heavenly realm. Lady, what is the counterpart of pleasant feeling? Counterpart is the other side. Friend Vaishaka, painful feeling is the counterpart of pleasant feeling. What is the counterpart of painful feeling? Pleasant feeling is the counterpart of painful feeling. What is the counterpart of neither painful nor pleasant feeling? Ignorance is the counterpart of neither painful nor pleasant feeling. What is the counterpart of ignorance? What is the counterpart of ignorance? Knowledge, wisdom. True knowledge is the counterpart of ignorance. Okay? If we start with ignorance, we end with true knowledge. What is the counterpart of knowledge? True knowledge. Deliverance is the counterpart of true knowledge. We are delivering from this whole kind of attachments. What is the counterpart of deliverance? Nibbana is the counterpart of deliverance. So that is the counterpart. But he does not stop. He keeps on going. Lady, what is the counterpart of Nibbana? Friend Vaishaka, you have pushed this line of questioning too far. You were not able to grasp the limit of questions. For the holy life, friend Vaishaka is grounded upon Nibbana, culminates in Nibbana, ends in Nibbana. If you wish, friend Vaishaka, go to the Blessed One and ask him about the meaning of this. As the Blessed One explains it to you, so you should remember. So he goes beyond the asking, because that is the Nibbana is what where it all ends. So our goal, which is there, which is the whole life of the holy life, as a monk we live to kind of get to that space. So now, when Vaishaka is very kind of happy, he kind of bows down and then goes to this thing. Then the lay follower Vaishaka, having delighted and rejoiced in the Bhikkhuni Dhammadina words, rose from his seat, and after paying homage to her, keeping her on the right, he went to the Blessed One. So he paid proper respect to, as a monk has to be paid. After paying homage to him, he sat down at one side and told the Blessed One his entire conversation with the Bhikkhuni Dhammadina. When he finished speaking, the Blessed One told him, Bhikkhuni Dhammadina is wise, Vaishaka. The Bhikkhuni Dhammadina has great wisdom. So he uses the same words he is using for Sariputta. If you had asked me the meaning of this, I would have explained it to you in the same way that the Bhikkhuni Dhammadina has explained it. Such is the meaning, and so you should remember it. That is what the Blessed One said. The lay follower Vaishaka was satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. So there is a lot of information this has, and then they are going into such detail in the feeling also. So they are wanting it to be thorough, everything. So yes, I like because there is a lot of things for me.
Last week might find a card